What's up everyone, it's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and I have great news if you are a retro game enthusiast, or more specifically, if you're a big fan of old school 16-bit JRPGs. Now what I mean is not, oh look, there's some new indie developer coming out with a game that looks in 16-bit art style and, it's based on all the old stuff. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking actual, top quality, high-end, bona fide 16-bit JRPG goodness. Now, little bit of a disclaimer. This is all kind of up in the air and not 100% set in stone, but you can get the idea where this is going. So, just this morning, I woke up. I was looking around the internet, as I do, as most people do in this modern age where we're addicted to technology and addicted to the internet and we're absolutely lost without it. So, what do I find? Couple of little stories about stuff, some places talking about Sonic, some places talking about, say, sales charts, things like that. But the bit that caught my eye and made me, no joke, sit straight up in bed just to actually properly see what I was looking at and read what I was actually reading. And I noticed that the official Secret of Mana Twitter account. Now, it's technically the Japanese. I don't like to say this because I butcher it, but I believe it's like something along the lines of sweetened and sets, something like that. Because that's my Japanese is minus levels of skill, so. That's the official account anyway, which I will have linked to the exact tweet in the description below. So please, I implore you, check that out. So they tweeted out on that account, the official account, mind you, that they show, actually, not just have, but they actually have a video showing Secret of Mana 2, otherwise known as Suikoden Densetsu 3. Again, terrible Japanese. But they show that running in 2-player local co-op on a Nintendo Switch. That's right. 2-player local co-op running on a Nintendo Switch, with both players using an individual Joy-Con each to control the characters. Now, how much have I been asking for this game? How long have I been asking for this on actual official translated channels? Now it has to be said, the tweet is in Japanese, the channel and user, whatever you want to call it, is Japanese within itself. The game has never been released outside of Japan officially, so it has never been translated officially. There's tons of fan translations out there. I myself have an English repro of this game, and I'm sure you would have seen it pretty recently on my channel when I was using some of the footage from it. So that's how much I want this game. The fact that I actually went out and bought an English ROM translated repro just to be able to play this on my Super Nintendo. I know there's the whole thing about emulation and all. Like, I played the actual translated ROM like fucking, I don't know, 17 years ago, back when emulating stuff on PC was new, or at least new to me. But you get the idea. So it's been a significant amount of time, and I've made multiple videos on this, especially with the likes of Mother One, or let me try to pronounce this. My accent doesn't like the TH sound. Mother One. God, that sounds so foreign and horrible to me. But yeah, when Nintendo actually went out of their way and released it as in English as Earthbound Beginning, so it was officially translated for the first time. Now Square Enix could potentially be doing that with some of their older games. Specifically, we have Secret of Mana 2. We've also got stuff, there's all the Romantic Saga games. There is, what was another one I used as a good example today? There was Bahamut Lagoon was also another potential thing they have to dig into and actually take advantage of if they were to release it in the translated style, just digitally. One thing that a couple of people pointed out as well is in the video you see that the game doesn't run full screen. It actually runs in 4:3, which is completely understandable, but it has borders on the side of the screen. Now, if you're familiar with any of the old Nintendo style virtual consoles, be it the Wii, the Wii U, or the 3DS, the actual official virtual console games do not have a border. But when you look at, say, other releases, say along the lines of the ACA Neo Geo, God, I can't English today, ACA Neo Geo games on the Nintendo Switch, released by Hamster, like you're seeing right now, actually, you'll see they actually have borders. Now, in this case, Metal Slug has black borders. I believe you can change them. I'm pretty sure you can actually change the borders. I'd have to go in and look at that again. But the point is that no games have borders. And when you look at other releases, like other, say, eShop not so much virtual console, but eShop different style retro releases, some of them do include borders. Now, one thing is to be said, because of stuff like that and the facts like, we're not 100% sure, and that we actually have no confirmation of the details of the Nintendo Switch Virtual Console. For all we know, this could be a standalone separate release. It also could be a Virtual Console release, because maybe they're adding in stuff like borders and things like that for the Virtual Console on Nintendo Switch. We'll see how it goes. Personally, color me intrigued. I love this game. It's easily one of my top 5 games of all time. If you're a fan of my channel, you already know Secret of Mana is my favorite game of all time. Number 1 will never change. Numbers 2 to 5 in my best games of all time are all so close that I cannot properly number 2 to 5. They're all just literally equal for second, third, fourth, and fifth place. And this game is one of them. So Secret of Mana 2 is one of those games, along with Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy. I go between Final Fantasy 4 and 6, as well as Persona 4 Golden. All those games are all so close together that I cannot pick one or the other, or which is better, which isn't, etc., etc. So you can see how much I love this game, and I'm explaining it to you how much I love this game. And the fact that I go out and bought the repro and just played through that so much, that can kind of solidify it, and that I've been campaigning for this in videos and tweets and all for God knows how long at this point. So I really do hope that not only this actually does come out on the Virtual Console or in some retro way, shape or form on the eShop, but the key thing is I really, really hope it gets translated for the first official time and gets put out in America and here in Europe as well, because there are so many people. If you look at all the replies for those tweets, you will see, I'd say maybe 80 or 90% of the replies are people in English asking for this to come out localized in their regions. So the demand is clearly there. And I'm sure translation nowadays doesn't take too much time. It doesn't cost too much anymore compared to what it used to. But I don't know the ins and outs and the inner workings of business, but I really hope this does go through. And one thing I will say as well is that if you remember, an extra boon basically that could be added in on top of this is that if you remember the details of Nintendo's online service and all that, you can remember specifically back to the point where they mentioned NES and SNES games, or I think they just said Virtual Console games, or it might have been NES and SNES. If you remember, they mentioned that some of those games will have online multiplayer components. They could put the online multiplayer components into games like Secret of Mana 1 and 2, among others, obviously. But we're going to focus really on these two, because I know my friends would buy it. I would buy it. I would push for us to, gather up and play it locally. But even in the chance where that's not an option based on work schedules and, real life issues and stuff like that, what's to stop us from just sending a text? It's like, hey, jump on your Switch, we'll play some Secret of Mana for a little bit, So I'm really hyped and really excited, and usually in a situation like this, I would say wait with bated breath and, steal your not so much resolve, but steal your expectations just in case. But mine are rampant right now. My hype train is it's derailing. I was going to say off the rails, but derailing sounds much better. And that's how intense. I can't even English when it comes to this. Jesus fucking Christ. God, this game has me so frustrated and so flustered. It's just the potential for it. Okay, I'm going to end it there because Yeah, that's it. So, what do you think about the possible Nintendo Switch Virtual Console release of Secret of Mana 2? Have you ever played it? Do you hope we'll ever see a translation for it? Do you think it'll officially get released everywhere or just Japan? Do you think it'll be its own kind of standalone retro release like the Neo Geo games, or do you think it'll usher in the Virtual Console? Let me know all your thoughts on the Virtual Console, Secret of Mana, whatever you want to call it, blah, 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 in the comments section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter, details in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the rest of the videos in my channel, while I need to please go and calm down, because this game has me fucking crazy. Just even the potential thought and mention of it. God damn it, Square Enix. Shut up and take my money.